Distortion versus rasp. Soup versus stew. Lake versus pond. While the terms are often used interchangeably, there are some key differences in approach and sensation that, if you're mindful of when you're practicing, are going to wildly increase the kinds of textures you're able to put into your vocal lines. But if you're going to be experimenting with any of this and you're not fully sure you understand how to support and place your voice, you're not going to be able to do any of what's in this video without it hurting or being uncomfortable. Click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. And then what we're doing here is going to make a whole lot more sense. Good old-fashioned rasp.
She took the midnight train going anywhere.
Distortion.
I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm close to something real.
And you say Chester's sounds distorted, but there's also that element of rasp that I heard, or airiness that I heard in Steve Perry's sample. Yes, they can be used at the same time, and many awesome vocalists do.
And tonight, I wanna make it all come true.
Let's experiment with them separately, and then we can work on putting them together. One of the main mistakes people make when they're experimenting with these types of sounds is that they try to use a voice initially that isn't comfortable for them. Yes, by imitating the range or something else of Steve Perry or Chester Bennington, who have very high voices and have worked these techniques out so that they are comfortable using them across their range. We must start with comfortable chest voice, and then we can go from there. Rasp. Start with a comfortable upper chest voice note on an I. Get good ping out of your voice, good presence, nice forward placement. Put that over here for a minute and give me an I that's really exasperated. Let your voice go all over the place. This is an uncontrolled, exasperated sigh. And exaggerated a ton. Then combine these two things while walking a nice balanced tightrope. I'll toggle back and forth and I'll do it slowly and I'll go too far on either direction so you can hear the process of me dialing the balance in. Forward pingy. Hear it? There's a rasp that's coming out, which is very different than just singing breathy and quietly. That doesn't have quite the presence that we hear Steve Perry doing, and certainly not what we hear Chris Cornell do often.
Someone gets excited in a chapel yard, catches a bouquet.
Someone gets excited in a chapel yard. No. Excited. No. Not breathy. Not weenie. Someone gets excited in a chapel yard. Excited. Now, what's interesting about this sound is that if we go further with it and learn the balances of support, what we're actually tying into is vocal fry. The extreme, when we sigh into this sound, excited. You can hear that fry if I go all the way over. If I put more into it, more sigh, it turns into a sigh. So it's all about being able to really moderate your breath pressure while you're feeling out these balances. Now, someone gets excited is not someone gets excited in a chapel yard. That is what, for the purposes of this video and lots of other videos, we are calling distortion or grit. Done correctly, neither sound, neither sensation should include a lot of pushing. In fact, you're actually sort of laying back into the sound especially with rasp, but even with distortion. Put that over here. Now go, huh, huh, huh. You're frustrated. You're not exasperated. You're frustrated. Now, this flavor of distortion is activating primarily our false chords. We're engaging our false chords over perfect closure, ideally, with our primary chords. So, rasp, and as we saw Youngblood masterfully doing earlier, we can use both. We can go in and out of both in the context of one line, and even use both over the same note. But you have to be familiar with how to recall and implement each one separately first, so that you don't push too hard and do other things that mess with your vocal tract and could potentially create burnout or injury. I was made for loving you, baby. Going around in different parts of my range, implementing either technique in different ways. I was made for loving you, baby. I was made for loving you, baby. For loving you, baby. Hopefully you found this comparison useful and simple to implement. If you'd like more on developing great sounding and feeling distortion, check out this video. And again, to get the foundation necessary to do all this stuff, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. We'll see you for more.